This is SENZ and this is The Serve with One New Zealand, the official sponsor of the ASB Classic in Auckland this January. And joining us on The Serve today in studio is New Zealand's top tennis export, Mike Venus. G'day, mate. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. And good to be home?
Yeah, it's always a great time of year for us. We spend 11 months of the year overseas, so got two young girls, so for them to come back and spend time with their grandparents and cousins, it's really special for us.
Yeah. How old are the girls?
4 and Georgia turns 2 in April.
Oh, right. Okay. So, yeah, that age. I mean, I suppose one of the things you have to think about in terms of where you base yourself as the kids get a bit older is about education, schooling, all that stuff. Have you sort of gone there yet?
Yeah, that's kind of our next phase is trying to work through that. We've looked at a few different possibilities, and I think while I'm still playing, it makes sense to continue to be in London and based there, and then we can spend more time together as a family. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, with the way the European swing works, right? I mean, you're there more often than not in Europe.
Yeah, so after Australia finishes, there's a few weeks there, do a month in the States, and then basically in Europe until after Wimbledon. And then after the US swing, there's some more tournaments to finish the year in Europe. So it's just kind of the prime place to be based.
Yeah, well, what have you been doing since you've been back, mate? I mean, you're away so long, so often. I mean, where did you grow up, and where's the one place you have to go to every time you come back?
Yeah, so I grew up on the North Shore.
Yeah.
And we've just been catching up with family. So I'm one of 4. I got 3 older sisters, and they've all got kids. And my wife Sally, she's one of 4 also. So by the time you catch up with everyone, and everyone's all in different places, and that's kind of the main thing. And just trying to enjoy seeing everyone again.
Yeah. Well, what about a spot? Is there a particular beach or a particular place that you sort of like think, oh yeah, I can't wait to get back there and just kick back?
Yeah, so I went to Murray's Bay Primary, Murray's Bay Intermediate, and Rangitoto College. So going down, Murray's Bay, Maringi Bay, it does bring back a lot of memories and just kind of, it's just a good vibe when down there. Yeah,
well, you got a lot of family, as you mentioned, but I mean, in this off season with the family, what is somebody who, I mean, because a lot of us come summer, get out the tennis racket and go for a hit is something we do for a bit of R&R. But what do you do for a bit of R&R?
Yeah, I like to kind of stay busy and do things. So whether it's jumping in the pool with the kids, going exploring, finding different parks, just doing things. I like to always kind of be active and doing something. And I'm away from the family a fair bit traveling. So whenever I'm around, I like to just kind of try and put the phone away and just spend as much time with them as I can.
Yeah, nice. So you never sort of pick the surfboard up or anything like that?
So one of my sisters actually lives in Waihi Beach. So and they all surf and quite good, so I try and have a go when I'm down there, but not much chop when you spend a year in between each time when you get out there. Yeah,
you need to practice it more than once a year, right?
Yeah, like most things.
Like anything, yeah, like anything. How do you rate this year for you? How's 2020 been? 2022, I should say.
Yeah, it was it was good. You always want it to be better. Would like to finish further up the rankings. It was a little bit broken in terms of my partner had some injuries, and we didn't play consistently as many tournaments as we would have liked. But that's part of sport and dealing with that. So I felt like I've improved some areas, and it's just a matter of building from that and hopefully trying to do better next year.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, your doubles partner, you're no longer partnering with him for next year. So, I mean, I know your ranking, I think you were as high as 6 at one point. You're about 16 now. So what's the goal for 2023?
Yeah, I think the first one, so playing with a new partner, Jamie Murray. So that's exciting. And I think the first goal as a team is you want to make the tour finals. We missed out by 1 spot this year. We were in a good position and, just didn't have any results in the last few tournaments. So that was kind of on us. So, first thing is tour finals. And then, obviously the big tournaments is what you look at the calendar and you circle and you want to do well at. So, work back from that, and we just got to get on the court and see what works well for us and what we need to improve and just go about it.
Do you, when you look at a partner, I mean, like Jamie's done everything. I mean, he's had 500 tour wins, etc. Do you look at when prospective partners and see how you can complement each other, or are the roles pretty similar in doubles now?
Yeah, no, I think you look at, I think for me actually now, looking at the big thing is personality and how you kind of, you clash together and can work together. And if you've got the same kind of philosophy on how to go about things and how you want to work together as a team, I think you can kind of make the other little things work. But without having that bit in place, it can be really tricky to kind of come together as a team and get those consistent results.
I mean, we hear about a doubles partnership. What does that really mean? I mean, how much time are you spending together?
Yeah, it's almost like a relationship. You spend a lot of time together. When you're at tournaments, you're at breakfast, lunch, dinner with the person. You're on court with them. You're in the physio rooms. They might be there. You're in the gym. So you're constantly seeing them and around them. So having that understanding of how they go about things, what works for them, and also personality-wise, to not let, I guess, each other irritate you and be able to talk about those things. It's really important. So those things that potentially, irritate you, they don't, fester and then on court cause problems that they shouldn't.
Now, given you're based in London, right, does partnering with Jamie, do you think, open more doors for you commercially as well? Sponsorships, things like that, just because with the British public, British media, you'll be more visible?
I mean, potentially, but I think they'd all want to be on him. And I think he does a very good job of that himself. So, I think for me being in London and playing with him, kind of the bonus is actually being able to actually practice together in between tournaments also. So you're not going to play a tournament, potentially it doesn't go well. You split away for a week to go home, and then you come back to the tournament and maybe you haven't been able to work on those couple things that didn't go so well. It gives you that time to continue to improve and work together as a team.
As you look at it now, obviously you're probably trying to keep your head out of it at the moment. But as when you thought about teaming up with Jamie and that was going to be a thing, what was the one thing you thought, well, this is going to take this off my plate, and the other thing you thought, well, this is something that I have to work on if I'm going to play with him?
Yeah, so playing with him, he has a very, I guess, unique game compared to a lot of the other guys. He's very precise about what he does. He changes the speed, and he understands the doubles game really well. So I think playing with him, it allows me to kind of free up and continue to be aggressive and be myself out there. And he will change the speed and make it uncomfortable for the guys. So I think we're a really good blend. So that was kind of the major thing that I thought would work really well as a team. And Tim was injured a couple of weeks earlier this year, so we played a few tournaments together, and it just felt right being out on the court. So, here's hoping that it can go well next year.
Yeah, indeed. We had a text come through from Richard. You can get your text through. If you've got a question for Mike, we'll endeavour to get them all to him. But welcome home, Mike. Have you had a schoonie with your good mate Kyrgios lately?
I see Nick at the tournaments. There's, we say hi and that. There's, I wouldn't say, we're not going to sit down and have lunch together. But I don't think we were ever really going to do that beforehand. These things happen. He's obviously had a great year and bounced on from, winning the Aussie Open doubles earlier in the year. But I mean, what he's doing with how good he is in that, you kind of. You would think he would consistently be doing that. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see him, have an even better year next year.
This comes off the back of Cam Norrie was on our breakfast show, having a chat to the breakfast boys, Izzy and Kempe, and Kyrgios walked past and said, "Oh," and Cam was like, "Here's Nick," and they were in Saudi Arabia, and Nick was like, "Can't find any schoonies. There's no schoonies in Saudi Arabia." Hence that question.
Okay.
Give you some background there, Mike. Yeah. Now, I wanted to ask you too about the ASB Classic, and I mean it's the Auckland ATP tournament. It's been called a few different things over the years, but how important is it for New Zealand tennis, and how important was it for you as a kid?
Yeah, I remember, being as a kid, it was the one time you got to see the professionals live. You got to see, you could go out to the back on the practice court, see kind of how they go about things, and watching their matches and seeing. how exciting it is. And, you'd go home and kind of dream about, hopefully one day being able to play there in that environment. So, I think it's great for the kids to be able to experience and see and give them something to strive towards.
Yeah, totally, man. I mean, that was. Have you got memories of being there as a kid and watching? Is there any certain players or any certain thing that stood out that sticks with you?
Not one particular memory. I remember looking back, being in the yacht stand, and you'd be there for the day and you'd kind of watch and then, run around with some of your friends and that there. And, it used to be a bit of a different setup there where the outer courts were a bit lower and you'd be sitting up above looking down. And that was quite unique. You didn't really see that anywhere else in that. So, it was just kind of the whole environment that I remember.
Yeah, it's a great environment there. It's always good fun getting along. I remember going a few years ago when Anacornicova came, and there was a plumber from down the line whose name escapes me now, but I was at another radio station then, and he put a team together. They called themselves the Ugly Annas, and it was all dudes with Anacornicova wigs, and they had this box and went and watched that. Oh yeah, it was a good time. I mean, it's not party, but it's a good time. You have a couple of drinks, get some sunshine, watch some quality tennis.
Yeah, I mean, going throughout the rest of the year, all the other tournaments, I would say the atmosphere at this tournament, for the level of it is at the top. It would be the best, and all the players you'll speak to, they would attest to that, and I think the fans really get a lot out of it and enjoy it also. So it's really a special event that they have, and it's great that it's back on the calendar.
Yeah. Now when you walked in, I saw the shirt you were wearing, and I'm like, I love that shirt. Tell us a bit about your sponsor, Hydrogen, because this is looks like you could have worn it at the front row at Guns N' Roses on the weekend.
Yeah, so Hydrogen, it's an Italian brand. And if you've seen some of the outfits throughout the year, they're quite, out there, especially for tennis. Yep. Some very different designs and things. And I've been lucky enough to be with them for 3 years and had some some great outfits.
Yeah. It's you can't see it. It's black. It's got a gold skull on it. It's got gold stars on it. It's pretty rock and roll. And I mean, given that it's an Italian brand, Hydrogen, does that tie in any way to the fact that you've got Sal's Pizza on the sleeve as well? I mean, you're just trying to tie everything together here.
Yeah. So I'm been lucky enough. I've been with Sal's Pizza for I think 3 or 4 years now, and they've been amazing. I've known Nick Turner for since I was extremely young, and he actually coached me for a little while when I was younger, and that. So it's great to be able to be part of their brand, and it's something that I find really special.
Yeah. All right, mate. Let's get to know you a bit better, Nick, before we let you go. So a few questions for you. If I grab your phone now and had a look at the open Spotify, mate, what's the last song you played?
If you open that right now, it'd be Cinderella Bedtime Stories.
If you weren't having to put the kids to sleep, what would be on there? What's the playlist?
To be honest, music is not the hugest thing for me.
Yeah.
So I listen to anything. So I'm not, whatever's on is on, and I just kind of go with it, and that I'm kind of the one who sits in the car and just goes along with what's on there.
Let someone else take control of the playlist. Yeah, all right. Now, you probably answered this question with your sleeve sponsor, but you've got a chilled night at home with the family, and you can have a cheap meal. It's going to be Sal's in it, but what's your topping? What's your favourite pizza topping?
Well, to be honest, my favourite is actually the garlic knots.
Oh, yeah.
So I get stuck into those first, and normally I have quite a few, and then you know how big the slices of pizza are, and you start eyeing those up, and you realise you're in a bit of trouble. So it always starts with the garlic knots for me.
The garlic knots get you in trouble, mate, every time, eh?
Yeah, every time.
Every time. What about if you've got that night with the family maybe not with the family, maybe the kids are asleep or the kids are at grandma's. What's on the TV? Have you got a series that you follow or a favourite movie?
We jump between a few different series on Netflix if there's something on. But there's nothing in particular. I love watching sport. I could sit there and watch anything, anytime, doesn't matter what it is, and I'd be into it. My wife, she enjoys some sports, but doesn't quite have the same level. So I guess it's trying to find a balance of what we both want to watch.
Yeah, right. I think it was Robbie Koenig, the former South African doubles player and commentator now. He said that sports is the greatest reality television there is.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much going on that it's just great, and I just love seeing the skills that every sport possesses, and what the players potentially have to do to get where they are, and kind of hearing their stories and just kind of appreciating it.
Yeah. What are your favourite sports outside of tennis?
Oh, I mean, you have to watch rugby, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's tough when you're overseas and the time zones aren't working out that great. But I mean, I watch some of the basketball, the NFL, a little bit of soccer.
Yeah.
Literally, if there's something on the TV with it, I'll sit down, and a few hours will pass and I'll still be watching it.
If there was a Tiddlywinks Pro League, you'd be on it.
I would be, for sure.
Good stuff, man. What is the plan from now for you until, I guess, the ASB Classic? How does that work?
Yeah, so just practicing the next few weeks, practice, gym, and then actually the week before ASB I head over to Adelaide and play a tournament there, and then Jamie and I, we come back here. And fingers crossed things go well, and then head over to Melbourne and be ready for the Aussie Open.
Are you going to be all business when Jamie's here, or are you going to have the opportunity to sort of show him a few things?
I think we'll have time to be able to, give him a bit of experience. I don't think he's actually played the tournament here before, so he's already, sent a few questions about different things. So yeah, I think he's coming with his wife and his young child also, so I think they would be keen to get out and kind of experience a little bit also.
Yeah, are they going to doss with you, or has he got his own place?
No, he was looking at Airbnb, so he was asking general areas what would work and that, so we'll see what he comes up with.
Yeah, indeed we will. Hey, Mike, really appreciate you coming in the studio, mate. It's great to chat to you and meet you face to face for the first time. We've talked to you I don't know how many times on the phone, so great to meet you, and really appreciate you coming in, mate, and best of luck with Jamie, the new season, and the ASB.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime. This is The Serve on SENZ, thanks to One New Zealand, an official sponsor of the ASB Classic on in Auckland this January.